Welcome to a Teaching Every Writer sneak peek. The full online course is coming in October of 2019. In the meantime, we're excited to share this free video series to get you started. To learn more, please visit our blogs and get in our email lists to get loads of free resources in the meantime. Today it's time for video number 8, How to Use Mentor Texts to Teach Writing. I know I've said this before, but let's face it, teaching writing is challenging. And why not? The act of writing requires deep thought, creativity, organization, and a tremendous skill set. You might have your doubts about your ability to teach writing. What if you just don't know enough? How can I teach writing? I never really learned myself. Writing just comes naturally to me. I don't know how to help my students who don't get it. I can tell when a piece of writing isn't very good, but I can't put my finger on the problem. How will I know what to teach in mini lessons and conferences? If you're feeling any of these things, it's completely normal. And we have good news. Even if you are the only adult in your classroom or homeschool, you're not the only teacher. My guess is you have hundreds of co-teachers in the very same building. They're called books. We like to call them mentor texts. What is a mentor text? It's any text that can be used as an example of good writing for writers. Mentor texts are all around you. And when you start reading like a writer, that is, noticing all the elements of writer's craft, you'll start to see mentor texts everywhere. Let's take a look at some things you can teach using mentor texts in K-2. Different ways to begin a story. Different ways to end a story. How to use dialogue in speech bubbles to make a story interesting. Using changes in font size to show emphasis. How to use repetition. Examples of strong vocabulary. Here are a few tips for using mentor texts. Choose a short text to read aloud during your mini lesson. You might have read the full text at some other point of your day, but during the mini lesson, you are going to read just the relevant pieces. Ask your students what they notice. You want to get their impression of the text before you tell them what you want them to learn from it. Because we want them to learn to read like writers, to notice how the writer did what they did. And we have to give them a chance to do that. They won't be good at this at first. They'll likely be very bad at it, but with your guidance, they'll start to figure it out. Then make your teaching point. So for example, you might say, in this book, the author began the story with a quote. Someone was talking at the beginning of the story. We call that dialogue. Model how to use the same technique. So you can do a shared writing or a modeled writing following your reading and show your students how you can begin a piece of writing with dialogue. Encourage your students to try the strategy in their own writing. And that's it. Inside the course, we have a mega list of mentor texts for you, whether you're teaching kids how to use strong verbs, vary sentence length, try different beginnings, it's all there. For now, though, we'd like to share a list of 10 fantastic picture books that are useful for all sorts of writing strategies. You can use these as your core mentor texts. If they're all you have, you'll be able to teach most, if not all, elements of good writing in K-2. So be sure to download your printable below this lesson. We hope you enjoyed this sneak peek of Teaching Every Writer, and we'll see you in October.